WBC Middleweight Championship of the World. Carlos Adames, the reigning defending middleweight champion, going up against Austin Amo Williams. Now, what an unbelievable fight, guys. I mean, listen, Carlos Adames is an absolute monster. Make no mistake about it. And I've been watching Amo for a few years now. I actually remember watching him like 5, 6 years ago. And I remember this interview of him saying, sooner or later I will become a world champion. It's only a matter of time. And when the moment comes, I'll be ready. And the moment is here, guys. I've been hearing Amo talk about becoming a champion for years, and the time has come. Will he actually fulfill his promise? Will he complete the task and be crowned the new WBC middleweight champion? Or will the violent, hard-hitting, ferocious champion show the young pup why there's levels to this? And listen, guys, make no mistake about it, Amo Williams is in tough. He's in tough. I mean, listen, it does not get any harder than this. Fighting a champion like Carlos Adames. Let's talk about Adames first. The man is an absolute wrecking machine. His power is unbelievable. He actually knocked out super middleweights in sparring, like Caleb Plant. He had Caleb Plant out on his feet in sparring. He beat Hamza Shiraz, the only man to beat Hamza Shiraz, even though that fight was declared a draw. And I love Hamza. Know Hamza personally. Shout out to Shiraz, met the man here in the UAE. And the man is unbelievable. Unbelievable. But make no mistake, Adames dominated that fight. Well, not dominated per se, but he definitely won clearly. And he destroyed Julian Williams, destroyed and absolutely annihilated Montiel after Montiel gave Jermall Charlo the toughest fight of his career. Listen, Adames, this is such a tough fight for Amo Williams. And Adames can switch hit, power in both hands, good chin. But if there is a weakness when you talk about Adames, he fights in spurts. He does not trust his gas tank. And that is something that I believe Amo Williams will and should capitalize on, with him being the younger man and the fresher man. And let's talk about Amo. Amo, he is, a sturdy southpaw, good jab. The reach, actually, he got way longer reach than Adames. He got two things going for him in this fight. The youth, him being younger than Carlos and fresher, and also having longer arms. And if this fight continues to be on the outside, listen, Amo Williams can definitely utilize his reach. But, I don't know about Adames. Adames, when he fought Shiraz in his last fight, that's not the Adames that I know. He was like touching Shiraz with a lot of shots. You can tell that he was worried about gassing out, because if you actually watch all of Adames' fights, the man comes to take your head off. But in that Shiraz fight, he boxed. And I don't like Adames the boxer. I love Adames the juggernaut, the puncher, the ferocious champion that he is. But once listen, he can also box, make no mistake. But once he starts boxing, he sacrifices his biggest attribute, his power and ferocity. And if he's gonna box with Amo Williams, I don't know who's gonna win this fight. But if he comes to take Amo Williams lights out, he might just very well take Amo Williams lights out. But if Adames starts fast in this fight and goes for the knockout early, he's gonna gas also. So I don't know pick your poison. In my opinion, listen, that fight, both men fought Hamza Shiraz. Shiraz knocked out Amo, and Adames, even though it was a draw, but you can definitely say that he beat Hamza, without a doubt. I don't think there's a single person on this planet that scored the fight for Shiraz. I had it 9-3 for Carlos Adames. And I actually rewatched the fight a few days ago while doing cardio. Listen, Adames is unbelievable, but he barely threw any power shots in that fight. I don't believe in any single round, in all those 12 rounds versus Hamza, he really let go of his power. He was boxing and he was extremely slim in that fight. I don't know if he, focused more on the stamina in that camp. I'm not too sure, to be honest, but Amo Williams is in trouble, guys. He is in serious trouble if the old Adames shows up. Because I'm not too sure who can beat that Adames that fought Montiel, that fought, what's the name of that Ukrainian gentleman that gives everyone, Sergey Derevchenko, the man who, arguably beat Gennady Golovkin. The only man to beat Gennady Golovkin, even though Golovkin got the decision. But in my opinion, he beat Golovkin. The only man to beat Golovkin other than Canelo. Adames was neck and neck with him. But Adames definitely hurt him more. Adames, let me tell you guys, the man's power is truly something to behold of. Especially when he is power boxing, not boxing tip and toeing like he did versus Hamza. That's not the best version of Adames. And for Amo Williams, listen, Amo Williams, I believe, he's been built, by Matchroom, by Eddie Hearn. But if you look at his level of opposition, not so good, not the best. The only time where he actually stepped up and fought someone that we actually know, it was Hamza. And Hamza knocked him out. But make no mistake, Amo Williams got power also. A lot of people say that he, that's the rumor, that he destroyed Erickson Lubin in sparring. And he also hurt Hamza Shiraz 2 times in that fight. He had him out, wobbled him bad. But Hamza Shiraz, being the champion that he is, managed to weather the storm and come back and knock out Amo. But Amo, how do you beat Amo Williams? Hamza Shiraz, you can't really take much from that fight. It's because, Hamza is so tall, guys. I met the man. And listen, I'm not a short guy, but Hamza Shiraz is an absolute giraffe, I was going to say. But the man is so tall, guys. He's like 6'4", 6'5". I don't know. I mean, it says that he's 6'3" and a half, I believe, on his box rec. But the man is definitely not 6'3", guys. He is so tall. He's like 6'4", 6'5". I don't know, maybe it's because he's like so lanky. But Hamza, utilized his height and reach versus Amo Williams. Adames, he won't have the height and reach advantage over Amo. In fact, Amo, I believe, got 5 or 6 inches over Adames when you talk about the reach. So Amo has actually longer arms than Adames. So I'm not too sure if Adames is going to try to box on the outside. In my opinion, his key to victory is show Amo early the power and the levels. And for Amo Williams, listen, he got to weather the storm. If Adames comes the way that I'm expecting him to come, Amo needs to weather the storm, because my God, when Adames lets his hands go, lets those power shots go, he is as dangerous as any champion in the sport. In my opinion, he's also the best middleweight on the planet. I mean, Janibek just tested for PEDs, tested positive for PEDs. So who do you have? Like Lara? Lara is 42, 43 years old. So I believe Janibek, without a doubt, is the rightful favorite and the best champion out of all of his fellow champions. But I'm not gonna lie, I will be rooting for Amo Williams. You'd love to see Amo Williams come out on top. You'd love to see Amo Williams knock out Carlos Adames. And listen, Carlos Adames' only loss to Patrick Teixeira at 154, Adames was a shell of himself at 154 and at 147. In fact, 2 years ago, Adames announced that he wanted to move to 168 to fight Canelo. And listen, when you see Adames on the scales, the man definitely looks drained. You know, it's only a matter of time before Adames moves to 168. I have no clue how the man was ever able to make 147. He was a 147 pounder, then became a 154 pounder, but at 160, he's a different machine. He's a different animal. And like I said, even though I am heavily favoring Carlos Adames to knock out Amo, especially if he doesn't box, if he comes to fight. Because Amo's defense isn't really, he doesn't have really any, that much of, he's heavy on his feet and doesn't have head movement, and he's, stationary. He stands tall with his upper body. He bends the knees, but he stands extremely tall with his upper body. I don't know, this is such a tough fight for Amo, but even though I'm, heavily favoring Adames, I will be absolutely ecstatic if Amo Williams can pull off the massive upset, because make no mistake, it will be an upset. But not long to find out. What an unbelievable fight. I mean, this whole card is unbelievable. Bring on Saturday night.